Hi everyone, today's lecture is on arrays, and this one is probably the most important one, and the homework in this one is the longest and probably the hardest of all lectures in the course. The reason for this is not that the material is too complicated or anything, but just the problems that can arise from arrays are quite complicated. But if you manage to do your homework, after that it will be a lot easier for you to keep up with the work and the material and so on. So this is like the biggest milestone that you have to take, just being able to operate with arrays. After that, everything is a lot easier to understand, nothing that complicated. I mean, I said a couple of times that strings as a lecture is quite complicated and the problems there are quite many, but I believe that arrays is a little bit harder. So yeah, I hope that I haven't scared you that much, but let's do arrays here. So array demo. Okay, let me open up my presentation, which I did not do. Which is right here. Okay, so what is this scary thing which I call arrays? Right, so first lecture content, we are going to be doing some basic operations with arrays. How do you initialize them, some important properties and so on. Then console input and output of arrays. Here, even the more experienced ones, I'm sure will learn something new and cool, especially those coming from C++. In C# there are a lot of methods and cool things that come to you just as a given, and you don't need extra libraries or anything like that to use them. Right, then iterating over arrays with for each, maybe something else, we'll see. Then we'll be doing the dynamic array, which is called list, which has some nice properties when you compare it to the normal array. We'll see what that is, and just very briefly, how do you clone an array, or how do you copy an array? Okay, so what is this thing? An array is a sequence of elements of the same type. It has a fixed order of the elements and a fixed size. Okay, I'll explain that in detail a little bit, actually right now. So an array, let's say that we have a variable which is int. Let's say int a equals 5. And I represented this as a box, and inside I put 5. Okay, this is my variable. Okay, now what happens if I need 5 elements of the same type? Maybe I need to have the numbers from 1 to 5. Maybe I need to have the days of the week or something like that. Then just typing int, or let's say string Monday, small Monday equals Monday, and after that string Tuesday equals Tuesday, and so on. It's not going to be very nice. For that we have an array, which is a collection of elements which are of the same type and they share similar characteristics. So how do we do that? So let's just scratch that with red because it's not very nice. And here I would like to do string days of the week. Okay, and these brackets here tell me that I'm actually using an array. And in this specific case, instead of just one box, I'll be having a couple, and in fact these are 7 total. So let me just put them. Did we get to 7? I don't know. So index element. Okay, so inside we have sort of like a table or a list with elements, and we can access each of them individually, but they are part of the same array. They are part of the same collection or of the same list of elements, however you want to interpret that. So in the first cell we'll have, let's say, Monday. In the second we'll have Tuesday, then Wednesday, then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, and always fine. I can access them. We'll see how in a second. And all of them have an index. So if I want to access some of these days of the week, I would have to know the index of this element. So we always start from 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, please notice that I have 7 elements, but my last element is 6. So if I initialize an array with n elements, the last one, the last element is going to be n minus 1. Okay, so this lecture is going to be more demos and less, slides in general, and we'll be doing lots of examples on arrays. So just delete that. This is going to be basic array operations, and I need to delete that as well. Basic array operations, and in fact I want to change this one too, because this is just basic array operations, and then 1. Okay, so let's initialize a couple of arrays. So let's do int what happened. This happened yesterday as well. Int array of numbers equals new int, and here I have to put the number of elements that I want in my array. So say that I'll be having the numbers from 1 to 5. These are 5 in number, so I put 5 here, and that creates me this grid with 5 elements, and each of them have an index. So okay, so how do I give value to my array of numbers? So array of numbers of 0 equals 1, array of numbers of 1 equals 2, array of numbers of 2 equals 3, array of numbers of, let's do the last one, and let's say that is 5. Okay, I'm deliberately not putting anything for my fourth element, which is going to be array of numbers of 3, to see what is going on. Okay, so now if I want to access any of these elements, I have to do array of numbers of whatever I want. So in this case, let's say array of 0. That should give me a 1. If this decides to run, okay. Right, so we got that one. I don't know if you saw it up there. Right, and if I want to access the fourth one or the fifth one, it's going to give me 5. What's going to happen if I put the fourth element or array of numbers of 3? What do you think is going to happen? What am I going to get? Random number. Okay, interesting guess. Anyone else? 0. So I am going to get the default value of the int type. So I think that random number comes from C++, isn't it? Yes. There are random numbers there, which can be very confusing because you may not even spot that it's there. Like you've initialized a couple of elements and you forgot one, or maybe you left the last one out and say that you want to add them. You are going to get a random result, and it's going to be very confusing what is going on. Okay, I have another question. What's going to happen if I do array of numbers of 5 equals 6? Index out of range. Exception. Perfect. Okay, so the thing about arrays, which is probably the the worst thing about arrays, is that once I've initialized it with 5 elements, I cannot add any more. Okay, so this is the first thing. I say that there are 5 elements or 6 elements or 10 elements. I cannot put a 1 at the end and tell it, okay, so now you'll be 11 elements, right? This is not allowed. And furthermore, even though we've initialized it with, you know, the index 5 here, well, it's not an index with the number 5, this array, I cannot call array of numbers of the same n. So this is just to show you that the indices go between 0 and n minus 1. In this case, from 0 to 4. Okay, but this is not a very nice way to filling in your array, right? So I have to type all of them and so on. This is not a very nice way, and there are easier ways to do that. So second array of numbers, and I can just list them here in curly brackets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I want to stop here, and I'll just show you what happens. So I press F5, and somewhere around here in the locals we get second array, and you see that the values are 1 through 5 as well. So I don't need to do it, you know, step by step and so on. You can do it this way as well if you know what you're filling in, right? If you don't know, then there are other ways to do that. Okay, right, so let's just give another example with a string. So string days of week, and I can just put them here, so separated by commas. One second, please. That thing there. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I put the semicolon in the end, and that should be fine. Okay, so I can list them this way. If you want to and you don't have enough space, you can, you know, kind of separate it into a couple of lines. If you notice now, I copy pasted many times, and I got this comma in the end. So the guys at C# at Microsoft, they decided to just leave that there as an option if you know you copy paste and you get confused. So this is fine there. Up here I didn't put it. Let me just make it better. I didn't put a comma here, which is normally the correct way, but in case you copy paste, then this thing is allowed here. And now, of course, I can print days of week of, say, you know, 4. What is this gonna give me? Friday. Okay. Pretty standard stuff, right? Now, what happens if I want to check how many elements I have in my array? So there is a property which is called length for each array, and that gives you how many elements you have. So if I want to call days of week dot length, what do you think is going to give? Is it going to give the index of the last element, or is it going to give, you know, the number of elements? So in this case, it's 6 or 7. Total number of elements, so we should be expecting to get a 7. Okay, and this is very, very important, this length property, for what we will be doing next. And normally when you operate with arrays and you want to iterate over arrays, if you've noticed here 4, and it says from 0 to length, and this length normally corresponds to, or kind of advises you to think about this. So if you're iterating over an array, these two are, you know, the same property, or the same name. Okay, that's pretty much it. But I am gonna delete this demo now, because, you know, it's just to show you how things are done, and we'll be doing something a bit more interesting. So we'll be doing a reversing an array. It's all of this initialization and how you operate with arrays and so on. It will become clear once we do a couple of examples, but for now we don't need them in a separate file. I don't need to make another project for this. So okay, so we want to reverse an array. So let's have an array, make it with integers, so array of numbers, and let's give it a value. What happened? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Maybe put a 10 there just in case. And okay, and I would like to have another one, copy array, or sorry, reversed array, which is gonna be new int, and how many elements should I have? Array of numbers dot length. Because what happens if like I just want to test it or something, and I just decide to put a number here, let's say 10, right? I would have to change it down there as well, and God knows in how many other places. So we want this to have the same length as the array above. Okay, and now I would like to reverse the array. So I would like to, in my reversed array, I would like to copy the numbers in the opposite order. So what I want to do is, let's have a look. So I have this first array. Let's make it with 3 elements. This was a bit big, but anyways. Okay, so this is my first element, second and third. And what I want to do is I want to put this one here, this one in the middle, and this one at the beginning, so that I get C, B, A. And if this is like some repetition that you have to do, you have to think about fors. Okay, so you can't do it by hand for all of them. You have to think of a loop, and for in this case is what does it. So here, array of numbers dot length. Or I can also do a reversed array dot length. Okay, and now clearly I have to be putting something in my array. So a reversed array of we'll see of what, and I have to be giving array of numbers of something. So I would suggest that we start with the array of numbers from 0 and see what kind of index should I put here so that I get them in a reverse order. So here the numbers for I are going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think because I have 6 numbers now, right? So for I, this is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I would like to have another index. Let me just put it there. I would like to have another index, which I'll call index, and I would like it to go, the other way. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 0. So, ideas? Yeah.
Second loop going from the length to 0.
No need for a second loop.
Just
Sorry. Array of numbers dot length minus I. Okay, so let's just stop there and see what's gonna happen. So yes, I know. Let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, so this length here is right now 6, right? And when I is 0, I'm gonna get 6 minus 0, which is 6, but I cannot access the 6th element as we said. So right, so I have to subtract one from each one to make at least that first step gonna happen. Okay, so what's gonna happen with the last step? So the last step is gonna be I equals 6 minus 1 because it's less than, which is 5, and I'll get array of numbers dot length, which is 6 minus 5 minus 1, and it seems that I'll be having reversed array of 0 here, and I'll be giving it the corresponding value. Okay, we cannot print it at this point because I haven't shown you how, but let's put a something here, and let's just debug and see what's going to happen. So this is my array. I would like to put something else here, maybe -5. Press F5, and please be faster. Okay, so there's my array of numbers, right? The same that I gave earlier, and this is my reversed array, which right now doesn't have anything because I made the wrong breakpoint. So yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at this again. So we have 1 2 10 4 5 -5. So here we have -5 5 4 10 2 1. So it's pretty much the same but reversed. Okay, can you see it now? I guess kinda. Okay, so this works. It's fine. Okay, this was for basic operations on arrays, and after that we'll see how to input and output arrays. Okay, which is a bit more interesting, and I'm sure that most of you will learn something new. I'll tell you a couple of ways to do each, and I hope that is going to be fine with you as well. So let me make a new project, and this is going to be console input output arrays. Output, yes, and then delete that. Okay, so let's get an array. That is gonna be, I don't know, -1 0 1 2 3. Okay, and let's say that I want to print the number. So up here I'll be saying printing arrays, and this is the first way. I'll be showing you, I don't remember, maybe 2 or 3. Okay, so I want to print each one of them. So this is like an operation that repeats, right? Sorry, am I going ahead of myself? First was reading, so let me just remove that. So reading arrays, and this is the first way. Okay, so let me show you a way. So the first way is, how would you read a normal integer type variable? You would have to do int.parse, right? Here it's pretty much the same thing, but we have to do it a couple of times, and by that a couple of times something has to repeat. That means that we have to use arrays. So let's get first int number of elements, and this is going to be int.parse console.read line. Okay, so that I know how many elements I have in my array. So then int array of numbers equals new int of how many elements? Number of elements, right? Okay, and now I know how many I have. I have my array, and the only thing that remains is just to put it in there. So for from I from 0 to, I can just put here number of elements, or I can put array of numbers dot length. It doesn't matter at this point. And for each step, for each element in my array of numbers, I would like to so for each element I would like to give it some value, right? So this is going to be again int.parse console.readline, and that's pretty much it. So now that we are talking about input and output, I would like to also print it, and you can guess that it's going to be the same thing with the for loop. So for, I can even print it here, but I would like to keep them separate, just so that printing arrays 1. Okay, 4. Right here I want to put number of elements, and I would like to print each one of them, right? So this, and I want to have, I don't know, array of equals, so this is going to be my index, this is going to be array of numbers of I. Okay, let's see what happens, but this time I'm not going to get caught, and I'll be changing this to current selection. Okay, now I click here and we should be good to go. Wake up. Okay. How many elements? Let's say 4. 1, 3, minus 1, 5. And it prints them after that. Okay, but you know, this is fine, this works. So we are doing the same thing as with variables, say type int. We have the int.parse, but we do it many times. So we do it with a for loop. Okay, just something that you know, is probably easy to do right here, printing arrays number 2. And I would like to have some separators as well, so let me put a separator here. This is gonna be oh, come on, a new string, and I give it a character, and I give it how many of these I want. And now once I finish with my input, I'm gonna have a couple of lines which are gonna separate the different examples. Okay, so printing array number 2. And you know, we can do it with the for, or we can do it with a for each loop, right? So for each, and var item, so let's say number, in my collection, which is array of numbers. And for each element I would like to print it, right? So this is basically what it says. For each number in my array I would like to print it, so I'll do the same thing. Array, let's make this one different, you know, 0 and then a space, and then I would like to have number here. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have 3 elements, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is one way, this is another way. I wanted to do something else, but I'm just gonna change this to right. So again, 3, 1, 2, 3, and there we go. Pretty much it. And let me copy this down below as well. Okay, so this is pretty much the basic way. This, you know, the manual way, if you want to. But I would like to show you some better, you know, cooler ways to do that. Let's get back to printing because it's a bit easier. So printing array number 3. So we have the same array, but we don't want to waste you know, that much space in just writing it on the console. I would like to have a clean, efficient way that's going to do it, and luckily for you there is one in C#. So I have to do string dot join, and inside I would like to have a join. Inside I would like to have a separator, which is a string, meaning how do I want to separate my elements of my array. So do you want spaces, do you want commas, do you want comma and space, do you want something else? So in this case I'll just put a space and a comma, and here I would like to put my collection, which is array of numbers. And if that doesn't work, then I should get a using, but I guess it does. So we should be looking at the very last line, which is going to give me all of my numbers with a comma and a space in between. So 3, 1, 2, 3, and there it is. So clean, efficient way, you know, very nice. And if I want to, I can do just a space. So it's going to be the same as the one above. Oops, sorry. Let me do that again. 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that works. I can put anything here, actually, any sort of text that I want. and it's still gonna work, right? So depending on what you want. Okay, but let's leave it as a space and a comma and a space. And right, but we still have this, tedious and horrible way of reading the numbers. And not only that, but if I always have to get them on a new line, right? So I want to get a 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to press enter many times, which is a bit tedious. What I want to do is just give 4 here, and then write them with spaces because it's a lot easier. And to do that, I would have to not read them as ints, because let's say here that I give it this. There is no clean, direct way to read this, right? Because this has numbers, has spaces in it, so the only possible thing that I can read this with is string. Yeah, string. Right, but if I do that now, it's not going to work, because we have this space, which is a string, and so on. So I'd like to show you a nice and better way to do this. Okay, so we will need a string. So let me just delete that. Sorry, not this way. So I wanna just delete that as a way of reading, and we'll be reading it in a new, better way. So reading arrays number 2. Okay, right up here. So instead of reading the number of elements and so on, I would like to have, let me just comment that as well. Let's just type it from 0. Instead of inputting the number of elements and so on, which is not going to be that cool. Actually, I do have to have that. So yeah, not to break the rest of the code. But we want to read it from a string. So string text equals console.readline. And what we want to do after that is transform this text so that it's more like an array. So we have to convert it to int, of course, and we have to split them by space. So if I have spaces, I want them gone, and I want to have all of the elements put in an array. Okay, and so to do that, we use something that we're not going to learn in depth until the second course, but I just decided to show it now. And if you remember it and understand it, or at least get it as an introduction to what's coming next, then that's a bonus for you. So int array from string equals, and I would like to use my text dot split. I want to split it by space, the same thing that I said. Okay, and after that, what I want to do, after I've split it, I have my elements. I do not have any spaces and so on. After that, I would like to select, but first I'm going to need something else, which is up here. I'll just put it using system.link, which has all of these cool elements. Okay, so now dot, and I would like to select each element, so element, and I want to parse it to int, right? Because right now I have only strings. So select element, this sign here means goes to, so element goes to int.parse of element. Okay, if you don't get it now, I'll come back to this a couple of times. And now that I've done that, I have to say to array, and I hope that this is going to work. So otherwise, I would be giving you nonsense. And let's say that I want to print it in the end. So let's have what do I want to have? Same thing. So string.join. Maybe write something different as a separator, and then I want to have, how is my array called? Array from string. Array from string. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's do that. So first I have to do something happened. Yes, I deleted that. Let me try again. So this is the first part, and now I have to put my second array. So let's say, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 10, minus 1. And I press enter, and here it is at the end. Okay, so this is a quick and nice way. So let's get back to it and explain what's going on. So I have my text. It's a string. So I use this. I split it by spaces. What this gives me is it gives me some elements after I've split it, but they're still strings, right? I still have the 1 and the 5 and the -3, but they're now strings, right? So they're like string number equals say -5, right? This is still a string. It doesn't matter if it says a number there. So what I want to do is, after I split them, I want to select each element and make it into an int dot parse of the same element, right? So what this thing does is just transform the string into a integer, and then since I have an array, I would just like to say to array at the end, you know, to make it work. Anyone confused? All of you got it? You kidding me? Okay, so sorry? Yeah, it's so yeah, this whole thing is link, and this thing inside is a lambda expression that we'll be doing in the second course. Right. Lambda expressions and links are, so you're sure that you got it, because I'm gonna tell something extra. Not that they need to know it or something like that, just, you know, just an extra. Okay, so if you got it, then right. So lambdas and link are very cool things, and I think I know, but you correct me if I don't. In C++, you don't have these as a given, or you have to download the library or something like that. Do you have them in C++, or you don't? So poor you. Poor you. Probably there is an external library or something like that can use them, but here you have them as a given, and they're like really cool, because you can do operations one after the other, which would normally take you many for loops, for each loops, and so on. So to do all of that here, you know, the splitting thing, the select, the to array, and so on, you would have to write a couple of fors, and you get confused in the logic in there, but this thing does it automatically for you. And the thing is that by adding this using system.link, I would like to show you how many things you actually have. Just take a look at that. Okay, all of that. And let me remove it, you know, just like that. And let's see how many we have now, unless I have an error. So I have to delete that, press the dot, and this is all you get. Okay, so this system.link, using system.link, gives you access to some really cool thing. Actually, I should be Control-Zing. Okay, and then using system.link. Right, so okay, so we've done this. You know, those are a couple of simple operations, but what happens if I want to say sort them or something like that? I don't have to do a complicated algorithm or something like that. I can just, you know, do order by, and since these are numbers, they have a built-in way of, you know, comparing between themselves. I can just do x goes to x. You know, this is something that you should not need. You should not know right now. But now, if I print them, let's put some random numbers. So 4 minus 3, 5, 10 minus 11, 20, and I guess that's cool. And if you can see, it sorts them automatically for me. Okay. And with this lambda and link, you can do anything you want with collections. So I can have, say, a list of students in the course. I can sort them, then take the first two, change their name, then put them in another array, and so on. And this is just with a couple of lines like this. It's nothing complicated. It's really cool. It's very quick as well. So lambdas are very, very quick. You don't have to do any complicated time consuming operations there to get this thing to work. So I'll remove this order by for now, but just to show you that there are a couple of things that you can do with it, because you have to be writing your sorting by hand in the problems for homework. Okay, I wanted to show you something else. Oh right, yeah, I got it. So right, so I have 1 2 3 here, and then 1 2 3 4, and let's say that I get confused and I hit the space again, and I get an error. Okay, so this is not a very cool way. If every time that I do something stupid, I should get an error. So what I want to do is actually be able to not only split it by space, but split it with commas. So say something like 1 comma space 2 comma space 3 comma space 4, and so on. And even if I press a couple of spaces here, maybe a couple of commas as well, it's not gonna matter. So I give the user some freedom, right? Because it's not very nice getting an error. So I'm sure many of you have seen this thing here, right? Say when you play a game or you start an application or something, it's never nice, right? And if you really want to debug or report the problem and so on, it never really solves anything. So we want to give a little bit more freedom for error. And so this is kind of not that complicated to do from here. So this method split, it takes it actually takes an array of characters which are going to be our separators. So if I put something like comma and then comma here, this is not going to work. This should not be working. If it works, I'll be very, very amazed. Maybe it's something new as well. So 3 1 2 3, and 1 comma 2 comma 3 space comma 4, couple of commas, couple of spaces. Okay, it doesn't work, but I have to put something extra there. This is why it doesn't work. So I have to put here string split options dot remove empty entries, and now it doesn't work. Okay, so here, instead of doing this, instead of separating by commas the number of separators I want to have, I have to give it as a char array. And if you don't remember this, you can make a cheat sheet for your exam or something like that, just so that you have these kind of functions to have at your disposal. So here I can now put the space, I can put the comma, I can put something else as well. I can put an A if I want to, it doesn't matter. And so what this thing does is that if we have empty entries, like a couple of spaces at the end, a couple of commas or anything like that, it's gonna just remove them automatically for us. So now if I do the same thing, which is 1 2 3 4, and then I hit a space, it works. If I do something like 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma space, a couple of spaces, 5 comma space 4, and then a couple of spaces in the end, it still works, right? So we gave a lot of freedom for error. I want to check that A because I've never actually tried it. So 1 A 2 A 3, and that works as well. So you can put any character that you want. I'll be very amazed if I see what's gonna happen if I put a number. Is this what you wanted to ask?
No, I want to ask if you can somehow remove everything except, for example, numbers from 0 to 9.
Everything except numbers from 0 to 9. I don't know right now. I have to think about it.
Regular expression, I guess.
Yes, with the regular expression, but those are kind of nasty and slow. And yeah, I don't know. I have to think about it. But why would you need that? So the question is, can you separate just digits from all kinds of text. So say that I have 109, you want to have it 109, right? And if I have some extra commas or something like that, they would be erased. Why would you need that? You have any idea?
For example, if someone's cat takes a walk over the keyboard, there's
Okay.
no error.
All right. I don't know. I have to think. So there may be a way. If probably with regular expressions, yes, as the gentleman said. So look it up. Regular expressions are very bad for good code style because they cannot be read. Right. So if someone gives you a random regular expression, you cannot say what it does. Maybe you can a couple if you know them by heart and you've seen them many times. But if I give you a random regular expression, you are not gonna be able to say what's gonna happen. So I want to check what's gonna happen if I have once. I've never tried this and I really want to. So I have this number, and this number. No, I think it's fine. Okay, so all of the ones are removed and the one acts as a separator. Okay, so fine. We cannot have ones, right? So no matter what you do, no ones are allowed. Okay, you can do the same for printing with lambdas, but I found that to work in a weird way yesterday. Right, so I guess I won't be showing that, but you can do that as well with printing. So somewhere around here where you say select, or it was something like that, you can just say for each element it should go to console.write the element, right? And it's going to do the same thing for you. You can do it with lambdas, but I really suggest this one. This method is really nice, and it works. And even if I don't know if you've noticed, but and 1, 2, 3. If you've noticed, but here it puts it only where it has to. So this separator comma space is put only in between the elements and not at the end. Okay, so if I do it manually, I have to worry about that as well. And here it just does it very well. Okay, let's have a break. 10 minutes. Okay, so this is the last way of printing. I don't suggest you use this. I believe this one is better. And out of all of these methods, probably it will be best for you to just remember this one. I know that it looks kind of silly and strange, but it works, and it's going to be easier for you to input whatever you want to input. And right, and for printing, probably this one is the easiest, I think, and it's works and it's cool and so on. Okay, so now that we know how to print and read, I would like to do a couple of examples. So this thing is iterating over arrays, which is something that we've already done, right? I've already shown you a couple of things. But what we want to do now is just get through a couple of very basic examples and see how you, like a couple of simple algorithms over arrays, so that you can probably do your homework a little bit easier. And right, so let's get on with it. So most of, the rest of the lecture is going to be mostly examples. Not all, but quite a bit of them. So number 3 is going to be symmetry check. Symmetry check. Okay, so let's delete everything that we do not need. Symmetry check, and put it here as well. Okay, this is very similar to the example here that we've done. Okay, so control KD. Okay, so now we need to input an array, and after that we want to check if it's symmetric and print if it is or not. So check if an array is symmetric. E.g., if I have 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, this is symmetric, and e.g., I don't know, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, maybe not. Okay, so it has to be read from left to right and from right to left the same way to be one. And if I have something which has an odd number of numbers in it, then something like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So the one in the middle we don't care about. This can be any number because it's in the middle and it's still read the same way from left to right. So let's get on with it. So string text equals console.readLine, and after that I want to have my array. So int array of numbers, and I wanted to have my text split. I am gonna be careful in this case, and I'll just put the split by space. What was it that I want to do after that? I want to select each one of them. First I have to add my link, so select each number is gonna be transformed into int.parse of x. Okay, so this x is a temporary variable. Okay, I can put anything here. I can put number, and just have to use the same thing afterwards, and enter, and then I wanted to do to array. Okay, right. Okay, now that I have my array, and please notice that using this method I didn't have to specify the number of elements I want to put, right? So this is another good feature of it. Okay, and now I want to check if the first one is the same as the last one, the second is the one before that, and so on. I'm gonna use a boolean is symmetric, and I'm gonna give it a value of true. And then if I find one value for which this is not true, then I can just break out of the loop that I'll have. So for from 0 to array of numbers dot length, and after that I want to check. So we'll see what I want to check. But if one of the numbers is not the same as the corresponding one in the array, that I want to say is symmetric equals false, and I want to also break out of the loop. Okay, so here I have to have a condition which is very, very similar to the one I had in my first example. So array of numbers of 0, not of 0, of I want to check if that is the same or more like different from the one which is last, or the corresponding one. So array of numbers dot length -1 minus I. Okay, so this is the same as this example here where we wanted to reverse it. Yes.
So did the two array of numbers length divided by 2? The how? Yeah.
Yes, I was gonna say that as well. So let's first see if this thing works. So I want to print is array symmetric, and this is 0, and this is symmetric. Okay, let's have a look. So 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Okay, it seems that it works. 1, 2, 3, 3, 1. False. This one is not. Okay, it seems that it works, but the point made was that do I need to check through all of the numbers, or can I just check half of them? So what we actually want to do is Say that we have an array. I'll just put it as 1, 2, 3, and then 2, 1. Okay, so I check the first one with the last one with my if statement. I check the second with the one before, and I can keep on checking, right? So I can check, so this one is clearly the same as itself, and I can check back if this one is same as this, and this one if is the same as this, but I don't need to, because I've already made the checks beforehand. So these two checks, in fact these three checks here, I don't have to do, right? So I can just check up to, you know, half of the array, and after that I know that I'll be doing the same check over and over again. So in fact I can do here is divided by 2. But then we have to worry about what happens if we have odd or even. And the thing is that it is still gonna work. So if I have 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, and then down here if I have 1, 2, 2, 1, this is 5 elements, and I'll be checking 5 divided by 2 steps, which gives me how much? 2. Okay, so I'll only be checking for I equals 0 and I equals 1, because I want to be less than 2. And in fact I don't need this number to be checked, right? It can be anything it wants, and it's still not gonna matter. In the second case, when I have 4 or an even number divided by 2, that is still 2, and I'll be checking 2 steps, so this number and this number, again for I equals 0 and I equals 1. So in fact we should expect this to work the same way. So 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, true, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, okay, and then something which is not, and something else which is not. 1, 2, 3, maybe just leave it like that, false. Okay, this works. Any questions? Just if you're ever confused about something like this, then just try to substitute values. So say here, okay, so I is 0. What do I get here? Array of numbers. So array of 0, is it different from so what is that? Say 5 minus 1 is 4, minus 0 is still 4, and so on. Just do it for a couple of values of I, and you will be able to see what this thing does. Or if you have to figure it out yourself, just write down on a piece of paper, or if you want here as a comment, what kind of numbers do I need, and how do they correspond with this I, with your index, which increases. If I want something to decrease with 1 step, clearly I have to subtract I at each step, because I gets bigger, and I'll be subtracting 1 bigger at each step. Okay, any questions about this, or should we be going on? So after that, I'm just gonna put all of them here. So just sorry for that. Array examples. Okay, so check if an array is symmetric. Then how about if you wanna initialize some arrays? So initialize square array. Array with squared numbers. Okay, so this is pretty simple. So I have an array, say 1, 2, 3, 4, and I wanna just give values which are squared. So it's gonna be 1, 4, and then 9. So 4, and I wanna get. Am I outside of the void? Yes, I am. So let me just copy that. Okay, maybe just that. Okay, right. Okay, so I have here, I should be putting array of numbers dot length, and if I want to initialize an array or just change the values to squared, I should do array of numbers of I equals array of numbers of I times array of numbers of I. Basically just, you know, square them. And I forgot to print them afterwards, so let me use a separator again. So new string, $50 this time, and I'll be putting that down here as well. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I didn't print it, so after that, yeah. So string dot join. This is probably the thing that you should get out of this lecture. So I can put comma space, and then I have to put array of numbers. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there we go, squared. Okay, right. So let's do something else. Initialize with the indexes or indices. Indices? I don't know. Initialize with the indexes. So pretty much the same thing. I need to have my separator. Control C. Control not there. This is gonna look nice though. Keyboard is hard today, so array of numbers dot length, and okay, what I want to do here, I want to give array of numbers of I want it to be the same as the index, and I want to print it as well in the end. So is this just a space, or just, you know, a dash? Because I'm not doing anything, so yeah. And I didn't print it as well, so let me do that as well. String dot join, and comment space array of numbers. Okay, 1, 2. Let's do something else. 5, 6, 7, 10 minus 5. Okay, so this is squared. 25, 36, 49, 125, and I've changed my array to have the indices instead. So if I want to start from 1, then here clearly I have to put just +1. So 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, and right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, if I wanna have double the index, I just multiply by 2 here. Zero, 2, and 4, and so on. You can do a lot of things with this if you are required, as you would be in your homeworks. Okay, we've done that. Reversing an array, we've done that. Initializing with indexes, we've done that, and I've shown you this as well. So that's pretty much it for the examples. Do you have any questions for now? Anything at all? Nope, everything is clear. All right, let's keep going. Okay, the next thing is list. Okay, list of T is dynamically resizable array. We'll explain what that means. So T stands for any data type. It can be int, string, char, it can be bunnies, it can be rocks, it can be anything that you want. ListT. ListT is called generic. Okay, and in fact it's quite fun to write your own generic collection. We'll see how to do that probably in the second course. But right, so let me explain what the list does and why is it better than the normal array in some cases, if not most. So let's do that. Okay, the list is dynamically resizable array, basically. And what does that mean? So if I have an array, okay, if I have an array, and I've shown this already, and I have, say, 3 elements, and if I want to add another one, this is horrible, okay, if I want to add an element at the end, I'm not going to be able to do that, because once I initialize the array, well, that's it. Okay, I cannot put any elements, I cannot add elements, and so on. But how does the list work? So can you see blue? Yeah, I guess you can. Okay, so right, so if I have a list though, list, and let's say that I have 3 elements in here, so 1, 2, and 3. Okay, what the list does is that it has a bit more space than needed, actually. So if I have 3 elements in my list, it's actually going to have 4 entries, and the last one is going to be empty. Okay. What happens if I add, so if I add here a 4, if I add a 4 here and then I want to add a 5, what the list is going to do is it's actually going to resize and have double the size. So I've had 4 here, and if I add the 4 and the 5, it's going to give me 3 more cells. Okay, if I fill those as well, and if I put another one here, it's actually gonna give me twice the amount I had before. So in this case I have 8, and if I want to double them, I'll have another 8, which is gonna be a total of 16. So basically the list, what it does, I think it starts with 2 elements at first. I don't know, maybe 1, but maybe 2, I don't know. So it starts with a couple of elements, maybe 2, and once I add more than its capacity, it's gonna double the size. If I add so to 4, if I add more than 4, they're gonna the capacity is gonna become 8. If I add more than that, it's gonna become 16, then 32, then 64, and so on. It just doubles its size, and you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so I can freely add and remove elements and so on, and it's gonna resize automatically. Okay. Right, so let's do a short demo of that, and now I'll tell you after that what you have to do if you want to do this by hand. So list of T, ListT demo. Okay, so the first thing is that here, to use the list, you have to use using system.collections.generic. And I know this by heart, but if you don't, you know what you have to do. So list, control dot, enter, and it's there for you. But I'm getting a bit... so this class should be ListT demo, and this thing here should be ListT demo as well. Okay, so list, and then we said that we have to give it a type, right? I can put here integers, strings, bunnies, whatever you want. So list of int, and let's call it list of numbers. And I have to do new list of int, and I have to put the brackets at the end. Okay, right, so I can skip this as we were talking before. I can put a var here, and it's gonna automatically say that, well, I have this. Let me put something else as a color. Well, I already know that this is a list, right? So you know, I'll just substitute it for you. You don't have to type it, but you know, just to make it more C# styled and not JavaScript, let's just put it in there just in case. Okay, and how do I operate with this? So simply list of numbers dot add, and what I want to add, let's say 5, list of numbers dot add, maybe 10, list of numbers dot add dot 15. I'm writing nonsense. Okay, so we've added 3 numbers, and if I want to print them now, what would you suggest I do? What was the one thing? Sorry? String.join. Thank you. String.join, which is I need them by command space and then list of numbers. So this is pretty much an array, you know. So I can use almost all of the things which are valid for the array as well. So let's have a look. waiting. There they are, 5, 10, and 15. Okay, so now if I wanna list of numbers dot remove, and I wanna remove that, let's say that 10. I wanna print it again. Okay, so this is with all of the numbers. This is after I remove one of them. Okay, let's play what do you want. Okay, so let's play a little bit with this and check actually the size of the list and its capacity. So we no longer have the length property because that's a bit weird. What do they mean by length? Do we mean all of the elements of the list, which are always multiples of powers of 2, like 2, 4, 8, and so on, or do we mean only the non-empty cells? So for this you have two properties, which are count, number of non-empty elements, and we have capacity, which is number of total elements in the array, or just capacity, how many can I put in there. Okay, so right, let's have a look now here. Let's put count, and then capacity, and let's do the list of numbers dot capacity. I'm sorry, it was the other way around. Count, and then list of numbers dot capacity. Okay, so right now we have two elements, right? And let's see what's going on. Count 2, capacity 2. Okay. Right, so that's pretty much it. What happens if I just remove this for now, and I only have yeah, of course, my bad. So let's just uncomment that, because I believe it should be for the capacity. Okay, so 4. The reason why it is 4 is that I had 3 elements in there before I removed the 1, so it now has capacity 4. Okay, let's add a couple of more. Let's add maybe after this. So let's add list of numbers dot add 5. Can I add a couple of them? I don't know. Does that work? Probably not. Just one at a time. Let's add another 5. List of numbers dot add. Let's add another 15. Let's add list of numbers dot add -7, and let's do the same thing now. So how many elements do I have now? So I've added 3. I've removed 1, and then I added 3 more, so 5. So count should be 5, and the capacity is now 8. If I add more than 8, it's gonna be capacity 16, and so on, which is really cool. And why is it cool? I'll show you in the next example. But just like to let you know, we're just mentioning the list now. But if you want to have a look at home, here are quite a few properties that you can have a look. So there is reverse, sort, to array, to string, of course, remove at, remove some number or some element at a specific position, last index of, and so on. So have a look at those. If I click on one of them and hold, there's going to be an explanation. So for each, performs the specified action on each element of the list. So there is a nice explanation as well of each of these methods. So if you want to just have a look, play around with it, and you'll be fine. We'll be talking about lists and other structures maybe at some point in the future, but just for now, list is a cool thing to know. Definitely. Okay, and I'll show you why it is cool right now. So lists are cool. And I'll just leave this up here because I'll be needing it. Right, Control AKD. Okay, now we would like to input, like, now just get an array and copy one, and add one element at the end. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to show you why lists are cool, because sometimes you may need to add an element to an array after you've made it, and I'll show you how to do that. Does anyone have any idea? So we have an array of, say, 5 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I want to add a 6 after I've initialized the array with 5 elements. Yes? Maybe if we initialize the array in a group?
Yes, in a loop.
Oh, in a loop.
Yes. Create new array with the length of the old one plus 1.
Okay, so this is the correct answer, but let me just get back to that. So, okay, so I have my array 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and what exactly do you want to do with it with a for loop?
I mean, inside the loop, it gets reinitialized every time, so if we can do something with that, maybe that would work.
Maybe that could work, but I only want to add one element more. Okay, so, and re-initializing it every time is not good for the memory as well, right? So, yeah, it could work, but this one is a better way. So, the gentleman said that we should have another array, which is you know, the one that we wanna extend, and it's gonna have length plus 1 of the old array. So let's have that. So int, I have no idea how this happens. So int array equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or I can input it from the console. It doesn't really matter that much. And I want to have a second array, which is you know, the copy array or extended array, which is going to be new int, and here I'll have how many elements? Array.length, and then plus 1 because I want to add another element. Okay, and then simply for I from 0 to array.length. What I want to do is copy value by value. So this is going to be extended array of I equals array of I. You know, this is just simply copy pasting the array by hand. And after that, I want to have extended array of array.length, and I should not be adding the 1 here, because as we said, each array has indices from 0 to n minus 1. In this case, array.length plus 1 minus 1 gives me array.length. So, and I want to have this as, you know, 6. And that's printed. So string.join separator. Let's first print the array, the first one, and then print the second one as well. So extended array. Okay, it works, this one, but if I have to do it every time, then you know, it's not that nice. So how do we do it with lists? With lists, this is simply and list of int call list equals new list of int, and I can put them here. Let's just check actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is gonna work. Is this gonna work though? This works, this doesn't work. So yeah, you have to put the new list of int. And right, okay. And this is simply coolest dot add 6. And then I'll just copy that. This is coolest, which is the last one. Okay, so we see that so if we if we skip the initialization, which is the same, and the console, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines which are just substituted by this one. Okay, and if you have to do it like a couple of times, then clearly that number is going to get a lot bigger. So this is why lists are like really cool. And yeah, okay, do you agree with me now? Okay, it's fine. Any questions about this? Yes.
What are the
Bulgarian is fine as well. I actually forgot the word as well. What are the advantages of the array over the list? Or yes, well, to be honest, I don't know at this point, because this coolest, I can also access coolest, say of 5, right? It's fine. It works the same way. It's just that it resizes automatically, right? It's pretty much the same. And even if I write up here using, those are a lot of blank spaces, aren't they? So using system.link, these features that I've just shown you, coolest dot, they are now a lot more, right? So with the list, you can do pretty much everything the same way, except that arrays, you cannot add elements as you please. Right, other question? There was another question. Which is faster? I don't know. Let's check. Is list of T or an array faster? Okay, so this is linked list. Maybe C#. I don't know. Performance is bad. Question mark. Array. When to use which? Oh yeah, that's just 2 arrays. So let's just read the second one. It is rare in reality that you would want to use an array. Okay, so the guy says it. Definitely use list of T anytime you want to add, remove data, since resizing arrays is expensive. So this operation that we just did with that we made with extending the array with the 4, that is that costs us a lot, right? In terms of performance, steps made, and so on. And right, this guy says it, and it's a long thing, so I wouldn't read it right now, but have a look at it at home. Maybe you can pause and read it straight off here. But it's not bad using arrays. I mean, in most cases I would use arrays as well. And list is not available as a separate collection in JavaScript as well. So there you have to use arrays. But if you can, lists, linked lists, queues, stacks, and so on. So these collections are made optimal so that they can do what they are required to do, so that it's fast enough, and in most cases it's faster. So the list is very good for dynamic resizing. The queues and the stacks, they are useful for specific reasons. Then we have linked lists, and we have sorted lists, which are good for sorting and so on. So depending on the situation, you will decide which to use. Any other question? Yes.
Is there a multi-dimensional list?
Oh yeah, list of t. It's, of course. Why not? So this t inside, you can just substitute it with anything you want. So a list of t is going to give you I'm sorry, of int in this case is going to give you a two-dimensional list, but I do not know of a reason to extend a matrix. Just add another row or a column. There may be a reason for it now that I think of it, but rarely. Normally you would know how big your matrix is, and even if you multiply and change dimensions or something like that, you would still be fine. If you wanna have a look at information like say a table with people which have numbers and so on, and you wanna just add another member, there's a better way to do that, and it's definitely not with two-dimensional lists. More like lists of student, and this student now has its number, has its name, and so on. I haven't had the need to use list of int, but you can, and it's fine. Okay, yes. Are there vectors in C#? You can add a library, but they're not there as a given. So let's try. So vector, control dot. Nope, there aren't. Maybe if you try position. What kind of vector?
It's similar to ListT, I guess. It's a dynamic array of sorts.
Oh, that kind of vector. I don't know. I really don't know. I actually did. This is the first time that I hear about it. Maybe that's my mistake, but I don't know what it does. So it's weird to have a data type which is the same as a mathematical object that is very widely used. But anyways, let's keep going, not to get this lecture too long. Okay, finally, very short. How would you clone an array, or how would you copy an array? And we'll show this as well. Yes. One last question. Yes. It just removes the first occurrence, but you have a method which is coolest.removal. Okay, but it works in a weird way. It wants a predicate, so you have to see. I'm sorry, yeah, it's there. You have to see an example somewhere on the internet, but you have a lot of ways to do that as well. It's gonna remove the first one. So if you have a couple of tens and you say remove, it's gonna remove just the first one. But if you wanna remove all of them, there is the method removal, which I haven't used personally, but you can do it by hand with index of. So you search for a 10. If there is one, delete it until this index of method gives you -1, which means that there are no 10s in the list. Yes. From left to right. I can do that for you. It's fine. So let's get back to the list demo. And here I have a 5 twice, right? And then I want to remove 5. So list of numbers dot remove. So basically at the first met index of the list. So remove one of the 5. So I have 5, which is my first, and I have a 5 somewhere in the middle, and then I want to print it. So string dot join, and this is separator, and this is list of numbers. It just removes the first one. Yeah, There it is. We don't have the first one. Okay, any other questions about lists? Nope, we've done them all. Okay, this is demo number 6, I guess, yeah. So add new project, and then 6 is gonna be cloning an array. And I like the picture as well. Many of you didn't laugh, but you know, I still like it. So right, okay, Control KD and delete that, change that, cloning an array. And I guess I have to change it down here as well. Okay, right, so let's have an array. Array equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And int copy array equals array. Okay, and let's just print the copy array just to be sure. Do you know what's gonna happen if I put copy array dot to string? It just gives you the type. Okay, this is something that I got wrong with the Hangman game. So yeah, I wanted to print it, and then I was just printing some system.char array or something like that. So yeah, yeah, string.join and comma space, and then here I put copy array. Okay, it works pretty much. Let's see if we can do something to break it. So let's say that array of 3 or 4, I just changed the last one, is -1. And if I want to print this again, what do you think? The copy array, which was initially 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, is it going to be the same, or is it going to be with a -1 in the end? So who votes the same? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? Who votes with a -1 in the end? One person. Okay, let's have a look. And you win, sir. You beat all of those, you know, C++ experts in the room. So congratulations. Right. So right. The thing is, let me just explain that. So let's say that this is the RAM. Can you see green? So this is the RAM. And once I say int, you know, array equals 1, 2, 3, and so on, it allocates in the RAM some, just 1 second to change color. It allocates the needed RAM for, you know, all of my cells here. So this thing here is going to be my array. And if I do sorry, if I do int copy array equals array, what this thing does is just copies the reference of the previous array. So it doesn't create a new one, just creates a pointer. Those of you from C++, it creates a pointer with the same address in your RAM. So it's, you know, is the same array, but it's not copied, it's not cloned. If I change the first one, I'll be changing the second one as well. So this is how it works. And what happens if I actually want to copy it? So this doesn't work. This doesn't work. Okay, to actually copy it, there is a method for it which now allocates new memory for your array. So let's say let's actually rename this. So fail copy array. And enter, and let's make the real deal. So fail copy array. No, sorry, int copy array is, and now there is the array.clone. No, array.clone method, and it's not going to work this way, but you have to cast it to the correct type for some reason. I don't know, just this is how it works. And now if I so let's just print both. Let's just do new string dashes and then 50 of them. Okay, so let's print. I'll just copy this. I don't want to write it all over. So copy this and the one below. So the first one is going to be my array as it is right now, and this is going to be the copy array. Okay, so now we should be expecting to have it with a -1 in the end because I've already changed it. So these two lines are identical. Okay, good. What happens if I do array of 4 and get it back to 5? And I'll just copy all of this again, and we'll see that the value of my copy array is now the same as I've copied it, and the other array has changed its value. Okay, so this is how you copy array is my point. So when you do it this way, when you do it this way, what happens is we have the first array. We get some, space in the RAM, and the second array, which is, copy array equals array.clone, with that specific thing there at the beginning where you have to cast. It doesn't create a pointer to the address, but just creates you a new array somewhere around the memory, and that's pretty much it. Okay, any questions about cloning? It's not that complicated. Just a thing that you have to bear in mind with the pointers, that you have to use the clone. So homework is horrible, and you have 20 questions. And if you believe that the one with the sets and the subsets was bad, that problem, then you haven't seen this one. Again, I know that it's complicated and a lot of problems, and some of them are really horrible. But if you make those, everything after that is going to be a lot easier. Okay, this is like the huge milestone that you just have to you have to get to. You have to jump over the river, and after that everything is gonna be a lot easier. This is probably the hardest in terms of understanding, doing the problems and so on. After that, everything that we'll do is gonna be pretty much straightforward in terms of the material that we do. So after that, two-dimensional arrays, strings, and so on, they are not going to be that complicated. So once you do this, really put the time and effort. After that, everything is going to be a lot easier. Okay, probably the ones that I like, since I'm a mathematician, is to generate variations, to generate permutations. This is combinations. And those are really cool. Actually, the combinations one is quite easy. There is a nice method for it. The permutations are not that cool, I think. This one, and then you have a couple of more, with the maximum subset and so on. So stuff like that. They're quite interesting. I would like to point out that when you have to write a sorting algorithm or binary search or something like that, there are built-in methods in C# that do that for you. but the idea is not this. The idea is to, if it is write a program that sorts an array of strings using the quick sort method. Then you go on Google, you find it, and you write it by hand. Okay, the solution is not array.qsort. Okay, and right, actually an interesting point. Do you know how does the array.sort work? Which algorithm does it use? Do you know?
Probably quicksort.
Quick other suggestions? Depends on the numbers. Okay, so how which ones do you think it uses? And don't just like quote me the numbers. Just which ones do you think it uses? Bubble sort. I don't think it ever uses bubble sort. Did you? Okay. It uses a combination of selection sort, merge sort, and Q sort, depending on the number of elements. For small number up to 10, selection sort up to 10 approximately. I really don't remember the numbers. Selection sort is the fastest, and after that I don't remember which one is which. But I think for like really large arrays, sorting with merge sort was faster than Q sort. But don't quote me on that. In any case, you can go to msdn array.sort and you can find out all of the information that you need. So I wanted to show you something, sorting algorithms. Just a website which is cool. So this second one here after Wikipedia. Here, if you select a sorting algorithm, let's say merge, it gives you a nice animation what it does. And if I actually click in, there's the algorithm. Try not to copy paste it. I know that many of you can do that from Google, but try to understand it. So we have the algorithm, we have properties, some additional information, and of course the animations which I've just shown you. I don't know why they're not appearing, but yeah. Oh yeah, there it is. So this is the first step, this is the second step, and so on. It shows you some really cool things. And another resource that I wanted to show you is if you go to youtube.com and you go to a certain channel, so qsort explained, this second one here, this channel has really good explanations of algorithms. So if you check that, there is the quick sort, the merge sort, some other stuff as well. It's a cool thing to have. Selection sort is very simple. I suggest you just try to do it yourselves. It's not complicated. All right, that's pretty much it for today. References, especially for the homework, and after that, questions. Anyone? Okay, that's it. I'm sorry, question? The deadline day for the homework is the last day before your exam. So everything from now on is the deadline is the last day before the exam. So you have about a month. But don't put it off until the end. I would strongly suggest that you do it by next week, because once we do two-dimensional arrays, and after that some games we will be using arrays as we did now, and it's good to have that kind of knowledge. It's going to be a lot easier. Okay, thanks.